I'm Metal Jesus! These Star Wars posters are wrong! There we go. Left to right, in the correct order. I'm Metal Jesus, and on today's show we're going to play a game that I love. E.T. the Extraterrestrial for the Atari 2600. And with me is DMP, and we're going to do it on a segment that we call I Love You. Alright, welcome back to Couch Co-op. Thanks for tuning in or clicking it on the interwebs. I want to give thanks to Metal Jesus for letting us kind of parody his intro, make a little homage to him. Thank you very much. The first thing I want to do at the top of the show is get back to some of the comments made by some of the viewers. First of all, Oscar, who asked that we needed more boobs in the show. And I think we have a fine collection of boobs on the couch. Yes. But to address him, I have this. I have Sponge Boob, and Sponge Boob will now adorn. Justin, number 2, could you put that over there on the record player?
Oh,
so Sponge nice. Boob is now a part of the show. And the second comment was from Serenity. It wasn't a shoe; it was a flip flop, and I opened 2 beers. All right. So now I want to see. Let's see what's with you guys. We have Justin number 2.
Yo.
First. We have Jared back.
Hey.
And we have Justin back.
Hey.
Hey. So what you guys been up to this week? What are you guys playing?
I've been playing Proteus and pretty much anything free on the PlayStation Plus thing. Puppeteer. Proteus is pretty awesome. Have you heard of that?
I've not played it.
No, it's awesome.
I used to see you play it though.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's kind of like an Atari-looking exploration game. It's actually pretty beautiful when you're playing through it, just listening to the sounds. There's no point to
it. Justin, are you doing anything?
Well, I started downloading some. I wanted to download some beat 'em ups on the arcade, so I was playing this game called Final Exam, which is pretty good. It's a 4-player co-op game, so too bad none of my friends have Xbox or play Xbox anymore, because that would be fun to play. Of course, GTA, still playing that, and I broke out Minecraft again. I started playing that again.
Minecraft?
Yeah.
What got you into Minecraft?
Eddie, my friend Eddie got me into it a year ago, whatever, and I just put it away, and then I just opened it up again, started playing it. It's fun, man.
That's one game I've not even. I've never.
Yeah, the thing
I have it on my tablet.
The thing that got me into it was the music. I was talking to my friend Alex, who was playing something on his DS, and I was like, "This music reminds me of the music in Minecraft," and I was like, "I gotta play that game again. That was fun." So, yeah,
cool. And Mr. PC guy, actually, this is a first timer.
Virgin.
Yeah, Virgin. Woo!
Oh yeah. This will be my first time. It'll be very awkward for everybody. Anyway, so what I've been playing basically is I've had Minecraft ever since I believe the beta. So they had, when they first released it, it was a situation where you can pay $10 for it, and for their alpha phase, and then it went up to 15 when it went to beta. People were started talking about it back then, and I got into it, but it was one of those things that it was so obtuse I couldn't really get into it. It just seemed like the aspect of spending a lot of time to do buildings of some sort, or I could never get really into it, or if I even tried, then some fucker would come bouncing up at me and explode and kill me, and then I'd start all over again. But personally, what I've been playing this week is they just had a recent Humble Bundle on PC for Codemasters, and so they're the guys who developed, or I wouldn't say developed, but they were involved with the Dirt series. So
great.
So I already had Dirt 3. Which I think is a pretty good game for the more simulator style, which is rally style. I played that quite a bit before. It also came with Dirt Showdown, which I think is probably the more recent actual racing game. They had, but it's more arcade style, and it has a lot to do with Demolition Derby and other kind of crap like that. And it's very, I tried to get into it. I I honestly only played about an hour or so.
I played the demo. It's not that good.
It didn't really grab me though.
The latest game was Grid 2, which I played in.
Oh yeah, you're right. Grid 2 is.
But they put that derby thing in it as like an extra thing, and it's just I don't know. A whole game, it's not fun. Maybe as extra thing.
I don't want to write it off yet because I've only played just a little bit of it.
Right.
But it seems like now, especially with the limited time I have, I have a really short patience for it. They also came with another set of games called Operation Flashpoint, which is like a military style shooter. Yeah, and I tried a couple minutes. I think it's like Dragon something. I know I'm being horrible by not knowing the names of any of these. But.
Did you not prepare for the show?
But all I can say is for the first couple seconds, it's a pile of shit. Don't waste your time.
Dave, could you check that off the whiteboard, please?
Yeah, don't especially after playing around with like stuff like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, trying like Operation Flashpoint. I'm like, then don't even fucking bother.
Right.
Even like, because I know. There are games like Arma 3 now that are like the official like simulator style, like it's supposed to be as real as it gets. I haven't even tried that shit. But doing like fast action military first person shooters, like I've pretty much fallen in love with Battlefield 4, but we can get into that later or whatever. But that's basically what I've been playing with. Oh, and Dark Souls again. I got back into Dark Souls.
You're playing a lot of games.
But have you guys played Dark?
For someone who doesn't have much time to play games.
One boss in Dark Souls.
Before we go to the main topic, I want to talk about what I've been playing. Last week I finally got to play through Brothers, and I think Jared played through it too.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Wait, is that like?
It's kind of a indie game, but it's not really an indie
it's
game.
like a platform kind of game.
Kind of.
I just downloaded the demo of that, but I haven't played it yet.
It's so awesome.
Really?
And if I had played it, it would have been totally before like the end of 2013. It would have been on my top 10 list. It is so. I mean, it got dusty at the end.
Oh my gosh!
But it's a pretty awesome game.
Starbreeze made that, right?
Starbreeze makes like big ass games. Like I played Syndicate.
How was
published by EA? Syndicate's decent. It's a decent first person shooter, but like you like have this. Just small, simple story with this kind of cool mechanic of controlling these two different characters. I don't know. I totally recommend it. That's what I played, and I really took a lot away from. So if you haven't played it, I totally recommend it.
Okay.
And let's hit to the first topic. All right. So now we're back, and we're going to talk about. Well, I kind of thought this is the show's called Couch Co-op, and I thought, well, maybe we should do a show about our favorite couch co-op games through the years, through the generations. And so, yeah, what do you guys think? Who wants to start? Who wants to throw out some games that they love from just playing on the couch with your friends?
The PC guy has.
Oh, the PC guy. Oh, he wasn't always PC. He must have some consoles.
Yeah, I've had consoles. It wasn't until like probably the last couple of years that I've really gone PC only. But you're asking the PC guy what the best couch co-op experience is? Right.
Yeah,
okay.
We
you don't know Jack.
Buzz.
Powerful laptops.
What is that?
Actually,
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Okay, so I guess you can say it would probably be the closest thing to saying like what's the best like co-op experiences. I guess you can say like. So me personally, I really like the Serious Sam franchise for co-op experiences because they're basically old school like frantic style first-person shooters.
Right.
Where you just have just waves of idiots just running at you screaming. And basically, you have infinite ammo, and you're just mowing down people. It's not the deepest game in the world by any means. It's really kind of stupid, but it's actually really fun, especially if a couple people to work with. I think nowadays, like games such as the Battlefield series, if you actually have a team of people you're working with, it can be really rewarding to play. Or I haven't had a chance yet to play Dark Souls with a friend. But I can imagine like that would make even a very good experience even better because that game could be really difficult and really kind of obtuse to people who haven't had a chance to really understand the mechanics. But if we're going to go back, like I've had, a Sega Master System, I've had a Nintendo and Super Nintendo 64 and like the original or the first Xbox and the 360 and stuff. So I guess you could say like the best
Your favorite.
Couch co-op would probably, if I were to say favorite now, would probably be like Contra 3.
Contra 3?
Yeah. Super
Super C?
Contra, yes. No, that's number 2.
Yeah.
Or stuff like River City Ransom. Stuff like that's
great. On my list. I love that game. I think it needs a comeback. It was just so fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's all gonna be. I have a feeling it's gonna be classics with us.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be anything new.
I don't know. I think that was probably one of the first ones to
Before we move to
introduce.
Jared, can you even is your PC in your living room?
Mm-hmm.
Can you even couch co-op with a PC? I don't know. I mean, can you play like
Depends.
multiple?
There's certain games like I do believe. I mean, if we're gonna take emulators out of the picture,
Okay.
let's say that emulators don't exist because that's totally basically old systems. You can do couch co-op, like I said, with the Serious Sam games, but really that's kind of it. Like even stuff like old shit like Doom, like you have to have multiple
What about like
systems.
Diablo?
You can't do multiple players in Diablo because it's a keyboard and mouse.
And I want to have you back on a show when we talk about Steam, let's say. But like the Steam boxes are coming in, and they're like the PC in the living room experience.
Mm-hmm.
But are there games that like take that like multiple?
But you have to ask yourself, like even with the new consoles, how much couch co-op are you getting with the new consoles anyway?
You're right. But
I think that might be that because really like couch co-op. When we have couch co-op now, we're looking at old ass games because if we have couch co-op now, they're usually just rehashes of really old ideas. Anything that's brand new now.
Well, also because everything's online now.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not sharing the couch with your buddy playing the game. He's on the other end.
And
some
like,
other city.
and I mean like games like Diablo, I could totally argue that is the natural evolution of the beat 'em up.
Right.
Because eventually, like, you know, you are just going around beating, you go to the point A to point B, and you beat the shit out of these group of enemies that just happen to be in your way. And by adding, like, the RPG elements to it, that's how you can keep it interesting. And you have different classes and stuff like that. So, of course, you know, if you want the best co-op games, we're going to be looking at games that are 20 plus years old. At this point.
That doesn't mean that they're not good
Yeah,
co-op.
I got some for that. I got some to answer
guess.
that. But Jared, let's go to you. What are some of your games? Throw out some games.
Well, of course, River City Ransom was mentioned, but I've always been a big fan of the Gauntlet series, which hasn't seen the light of day forever.
Great
I think
arcade
the
game.
last one was on the Dreamcast.
I have it for the N64.
Yeah,
It's pretty awesome.
yeah. Okay, so N64 must have been the last
Well, I don't know,
iteration
but I
of
don't
that. But that game, I don't know. I spent a lot of hours on that as a child.
In the arcade? Did you play on that little?
Not the old version, but the newer version that was probably on Dreamcast and N64, the more 3D version that was pretty great. River City Ransom, that's one I'd like to go back to because I think from what I remember in my history of gaming, that has to be one of the first ones where you could actually like earn money and buy upgrades for your character and make your character better so you can go and kick
So
the ass of the last
I've never
boss.
actually played that game. What is it about
It's
that
like
game?
it's a beat 'em up. Like we were playing last week, Dragon's Crown. That simple style of game, like from the beginning, or Double Dragon kind of a style of a
The
game.
characters are kind of cutesy looking
Yeah.
though, too. Like it's an NES game, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
NES. They made a beach volleyball game based off of that, which
Yeah.
I thought was a
Oh.
complete waste of.
That's a good game.
I never played it, but it's not what I wanted to see from
Nintendo,
those
I played
characters
that.
because I love the
Yeah,
characters from
I
that
like that
series,
game.
and I want to see them come back again.
Justin.
All right.
Oh, he's got a list.
No, I don't have a list because I thought about this, and yes, it's all classics. So I thought about the game that I had the most fun playing, and Contra was one of them. But this game provided more experiences than just the co-op play, and it was Streets of Rage for the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
So now I had played Double Dragon before, but there was something about this game that basically blew up the beat 'em up thing for me, where I started playing Final Fight and all these other games. From the opening sequence where you see the cityscape and everything at night, and then the music in the game was so awesome that I recorded it on tape, and I actually tried to make rap songs with my friends to the music. I swear to God, I'm not lying about this. But the best part about that game was like telling everybody about how great it was and having my friends come over and playing it and teaming up, and the fact that you could choose between different characters and you had different abilities and things like that. That was probably the best co-op game that I've ever played.
So would you say like that would be the best beat 'em up that you've ever played?
I don't know, because I like the Turtles arcade game.
Yeah, Turtles
Yeah,
in
those
Time
are
was
classic.
freaking awesome.
That is
Co-op, you can co-op that.
yeah. But I couldn't do it at home on the couch. I mean, they had it, they released it, you know, but the best I thought was in the arcade. So sitting at home, chilling at home with your friends or whatever, for me it was Streets of Rage was the best share time experience. And Contra was like way too hard anyway. So.
Well, we were talking about it earlier while we were cooking dinner. Battletoads was an interesting experience co-op.
That's good.
It was
That's
brutally,
another
it was
really
brutally
difficult game.
difficult, but I
Yeah.
remember hours and hours of playing that game with Brandon, who probably won't ever watch this show. But and then Tecmo Bowl was fun to play.
I love Tecmo Bowl.
Is that a co-op game though?
Well, I guess you're playing two people, but
That's why I
you're
asked
still on the
you
couch.
that.
I guess you're right. I guess you're right. I guess
That's
you're
why
right.
I
So is a
said
racing game not co-op?
Or fighting
is a racing
games?
game not a co-op game?
I said fighting games.
But you're against people.
That's versus.
Anytime where you're playing against someone,
It's not a
I don't
co-op
think
game.
that's co-op because you're playing against
Okay, all right.
your
all
friend.
right,
That's
all
not
right.
you're not
Cooperative.
teaming up trying to complete the same
All
mission.
right. So what about you guys gonna talk about like playing?
So I would say like if you were gonna say modern.
What about Gears of War?
Yeah, Gears of War is great.
Yeah, that's a great.
Well, yeah.
Co-op.
And I'd also say like you can even even though I have played them personally myself, like the new Mario games, from what I've heard as a co-op experience is good. But I have played the new Rayman games. I've only played Origins. I haven't yet to play Legends.
I want to pick that
But
up.
they're really solid for being co-op, and you can do up to 4 players. But it does, especially when it gets difficult, it almost becomes like an art of trolling somebody because you can totally fuck your buddy up and they die, but you're able to keep going.
So we're totally assing out fighting. I mean, like fighting games competitive against. Because like, what about Twisted Metal? I mean, that's
What is-
4-player battle cards.
You don't
But you're still on a couch playing
the term
together.
is
But you're playing
co-op
together.
is
Well,
co-op is short for cooperation.
Yeah.
You're sharing the same. It's not competing. Otherwise, it'd be
So Battlefield
compete
is a
op
co-op
or
then,
something.
Well, I guess
you have
you are.
teams if you because
So-
it's all
But
So
even
did
in
anyone-
Battletoads is
Twisted
another
Metal,
beat
you
'em
can
up.
ally together to kick your opponent's ass in that form.
Unless,
if you wanna
let's
get
say, you're
solid with
playing
Warhawk,
with multiple
Warhawk
people,
was a current gen. It
and
was a
you're
lot of
in
fun.
it.
your-
It's co-op.
Well, then Call of Duty would be a co-op. Then your team
It
or
can be.
whatever.
yeah,
Team.
team
They're playing the
deathmatch.
other
Team
team.
deathmatch.
Or like
Sure.
Well, then I'm
Capture
going to
the
say
flag
that, but I also think, but that's co-op. That's online co-op. Warhawk allowed you to play 4-player online co-op. So
Yeah.
like,
I
you can
think-
play on a couch with 4
Right.
players and
Well,
still play online against
I
people.
think there's a
That was
difference
pretty
between multiplayer and co-op. I think
Right.
game where they have you with your buddy doing something, it'll say co-op. It won't just say multiplayer.
I also think
You're not
like,
just doing homework with your friends or whatever you said.
Oh, is that what you were getting at about that?
I was looking at the text like, I don't know what that means.
I don't understand. I didn't understand your question then.
I
guess.
thought our games that you play with your friends, but where you're against them, are they considered
they're not co-op.
I don't think they're
They're
co-op.
versus.
All right.
But I thought you were saying their practice for
I
when
see.
you
I
do
see.
play.
I see what you're saying.
And I was like, okay,
Oh,
I
man,
get
it took me
that.
by so different because I was taking couch co-op, but just like. I guess I was just thinking of it differently in the sense of like you're just here on the couch. Playing
Well,
with your
what does
friends.
the audience think?
So we're
You're
thinking
right. No,
more
I don't
literally.
disagree.
What do you guys
I don't
think
disagree
co-op
with you
is?
guys. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I totally agree with you guys. I'm just saying. I guess I was just not, really thinking it all the way through. I think as a fighting game, one fighting game you could do couch co-op with is the Guilty Gear game I have for PS2. It's a 4-player, but it's a 2D fighting game. So you have 2 different teams, but it's 4-player basically, and they're in different lanes. Very interesting game.
Well, there's also like Tekken Tag.
Tekken Tag, is it? Yeah, you
Zero
could.
Life
you can
Series,
tag
of course.
in.
I guess just basically as long as it's at least 2 people that are working as a team, therefore it's co-op.
What do you guys think makes a really good couch co-op game?
Adventure, I think. Being able to finish a story.
Yeah,
I just think fun mechanics, really. I mean, I think like as long as you, I guess, because there are some games out there that we've played though that have like a good story, but shit mechanics, and you're just basically suffering through it because you want to see how the story
Yeah.
ends.
But I mean, what's the point of playing a game if you're not gonna like go all in with your buddy?
true.
That you're like you and I we're doing this tonight. We're finishing this project or whatever.
Yeah.
And
So,
why do you think
mechanics and gameplay and all that should be included?
why do we think it's? I mean, it's done. I mean, like through the generation, it's just like it's all online. Why do you think the whole couch sitting there with somebody is going away? I mean, I think it's fun. I think it's a lot more fun playing next to somebody. But why is that going away?
I'm not sure. And there of course, the last one I played was number 3, but there has been like some old staples like the Halo series where they've always allowed you to do couch co-op and play through the whole campaign with 2. But that's always been there's always been a feature that's been kind of tacked on. I mean, we have games like Army of 2, and I guess in or Kane and Lynch, which I guess in theory, if the games were good to begin with, that might be able to kind of prove your point better. But the fact is they've been kind of shit. So maybe if we had like a high caliber game that really emphasized co-op from the very beginning, maybe things would be different. But as of right now, they've really kind of pushed like.
Well, I think it all has to do with the fact that, like, I mean, we're in a society. I mean, they want us to each have a console. They don't want us, 4 of us, playing at one person's house.
Right? Do they still sell multi-tap?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Controller things. No.
While I think it's super awesome fun to get your friends in a room together. I don't think that the developers, or not the developers, but the console makers want us in the same room on one machine. They want us buying their online passes,
I think
buying the games separately.
But
and
you
they
said
want
society, and that's also the case with cell phones and all kinds of other
No,
things.
I agree, but it's like there's some. I think fundamentally, I love the social aspect of it better when you can stare at the person and.
Yeah.
I think there's also progress too, because especially I guess me being the PC representative is like. We used to do like LAN parties, and then we even did LAN parties with like the original Xboxes, and those were great, especially with the original Halo.
We've done
Difficult to put together.
But now we have fast enough internet that you don't need to do. You don't need to do that, and I mean, having at least like voice chat and stuff. I guess there's the only difference now is instead of like yelling at your friend in the same room, you're just doing it over a microphone over the internet. I guess because you're. I know, it's kind of weird. It's like going on a date with, saying a good date with a girlfriend is going to the movie. You're not fucking talking to her. You're just sitting in the same room looking at the screen.
Right.
So I don't know. It's weird, like, how things, that's the evolution, how things have happened.
Well, I know a lot of it's devs wanting to cut costs in any corner they can because video games are getting so expensive to make, and they have to segregate the engine and cut textures and frame rates and all that, and they don't want their game to be dumbed down because it has to be lessened to be a cooperative experience with split screens and all that.
Which I don't like split screens. And I think that's why I like beat 'em ups better, because you get to share the same screen. You see everything in the same picture. You're not limited.
Well, right, you missed it last week because you left early after we were done shooting. But we played Dragon's Crown, and that's a 4-player couch co-op game. And we can all.
It was great.
And it's not
awesome.
split screen, is it?
It's not split screen. No,
right.
it's brilliant.
But I can imagine, just imagine, you have, how big is the TV?
This is like a 50-something.
Yeah, so you say you're a 50-inch TV. Let's say you're sitting about 5 feet away, and you have this screen broken up into 4 squares, especially how much detail they have in games now. You're not going to be able to understand what the hell you're even looking at. So, the idea of doing
and you have all
screen,
that other stuff in your eye that you're not supposed to be paying attention to. How many times have we ever played a 4-screen, split-screen game where at least one person didn't know where they were on the TV?
Exactly.
That's fucked up, man.
I can look at a couple of people that love looking at.
Everybody's like, I thought I was on that side. I thought I was doing good.
That's all part of the. That's all part of the scheming,
distraction.
Yeah. That's all part of winning.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's an aspect I think needs to die out.
You think so?
Yeah, it's just basically.
Well, that's why we have this show then. The remnants of what was.
Well, what could still be Dragon's Crown? I mean, they could
it still exists.
I mean, we got beat 'em ups. That's basically it, and some co-op fighting games.
Or maybe invent something new. Let's think about it, developers. Do it.
Well, we're gonna get to that because this is a trend, and we're gonna talk about trends in the next show. So, we'll come back to me now, my beautiful face, and we'll wrap up this show. Oh,
lovely.
My long hair, my metal Jesus hair, and actually, first of all, I want to thank Metal Jesus again for letting us do that intro. Awesome. And I want to make sure that you remember to fucking subscribe to our channel.
Swing from the nuts.
Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth. Subscribe. And that's it from the couch. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
We'll see. That's it from the couch.
That's it from the couch.
That's it from the couch.
Famous last words, douche.